Beyonce and Rihanna may be the sovereigns of music, yet young lady, there's a ton of hamburger happening between them in the background that we don't know about. Evidently Rihanna feels like Beyonce is insane envious of her and has even been attempting to stop her pack. Yet how in the world did this wreck even beginning, and does it have a say in Rihanna's supposed undertaking with Jay-Z? Now before you all inquire as to why in the world Beyonce would be desirous of Rihanna all around, let me advise you that Rihanna is a rare example of female vocalists who can equal Beyonce with regards to fame. No doubt. I realize Rihanna hasn't dropped a collection in years and she's more centered around her organizations nowadays, yet she's as yet an artist. I know it's not difficult to fail to remember that since it's been for such a long time, yet my young lady Riri has guaranteed us that she has no plans of resigning at any point in the near future, and her new execution at Super Bowl simply demonstrates that despite the fact that she isn't that dynamic in the music scene, she actually holds such a lot of force. Like her exhibition truly assembled more watchers in the actual game. I think her non-appearance from the scene has possibly added more sort to her, so envision when she chooses to completely return, and here is where Beyonce comes in. Okay, so to give you a few setting, Beyonce and Rihanna go way back and they are associated through Jay-Z. When Rihanna was getting going in the business, she was endorsed by Jay-Z, who was then the leader of Def Jam. Jay-Z saw potential in her that he didn't let her leave his office until she marked the agreement at 3 a.m. and in the event that doesn't show that he was so frantic to have her in his group, I don't have the foggiest idea what does. At any rate, he marked Rihanna in a 6 collection bargain. Yet at the time there was one more artist at the name who was certainly standing out than Rihanna, and that was Tierra Marie, who was the name's main concern. Then with regards to crown, everybody accepted that she would be the following enormous thing. She was only that young lady. One of the events where obviously headdress was the it young lady of the mark was at the 2005 World Music Grants, where she collaborated with Rihanna and another artist named Marie to play out their front of the tune Lose My Breath by Fate's Kid. Headbands started to lead the pack part that was initially sung by Beyonce, and this plainly communicated something specific across, that she was the most loved. Now Beyonce and Jay-Z were at that point dating at this point, and Beyonce chose to help Jay-Z out by giving Rihanna a push to ensure the marks began focusing on her. Beyonce was at that point a genius then, so her words certainly conveyed a ton of weight, and she figured out how to get the name executives to focus on Rihanna rather than Tierra Marie. After the occasion finished, she went up to L.A. Reid and advised him to pay somewhat more thoughtfulness regarding Rihanna. You realize Beyonce just gave me one of those looks, and he said that Rihanna, young lady, she's a monster, and she turned away, right? And I resembled, so I did a Rihanna twofold take, so in a manner we can that both Beyonce and Jay-Z. He assumed a significant part in Rihanna's progress in the music business. I mean, Rihanna even won her most memorable Grammy with Jay-Z, and Rihanna didn't underestimate it, since she was really appreciated for the open door that she had been given. And here I am at 19 years of age is the main single and highlighting Jay-Z. It's I can't understand it. In some cases it's a lot for me to it's mind-boggling. In some cases she kept a fellowship with Beyonce and Jay-Z, yet someplace along the line things change among them, and insiders uncover that this is on the grounds that Beyonce got desirous and could try and have attempted to undermine Rihanna's vocation. On the off chance that you all have been following these two ladies, you will have a ton of experience with the tricking reports encompassing Jay-Z and Rihanna in the past. The main thing individuals could discuss was whether Jay-Z and Rihanna were sneaking near and connecting despite Beyonce's good faith, and things were hella muddled in those days. Now we as a whole realize that Jay-Z has no issues undermining Beyonce in light of the fact that he's done it no less than once that we are aware of, so him undermining her some time ago isn't fantastic. Yet Rihanna has consistently denied the crocodile patience, demanding that they were companions and that Jay was her coach. Her marketing specialist at the time even assumed a sense of ownership with getting out the phony word asserting that he did it as a method for pushing Rihanna's profession. He said the PR stunt that I did was out of urgency to assist with breaking Ponder replay he composed. It was wild and I didn't think it planned to work. I was tossing spaghetti at the wall to see what might stick. I didn't figure it would be this issue on everyone's mind, except now realizing that individuals are benefiting from hypotheses and conclusions about her truly makes me feel sick. I'm embarrassed that I'm in any event discussing this. I simply need to settle this talk unequivocally. Many individuals didn't buy this in light of the fact that after each of the marketing expert work is to tidy up the picture of their client regardless of whether it includes lying, and the gossip was making Rihanna look extremely terrible. Clearly Beyonce likewise didn't really accept that the marketing expert case, since certain sources guarantee that this caused the strain between the two ladies. Beyonce was hella dubious, and she before long began to feel the kind of way about Rihanna, and things got so terrible that she purportedly attempted to destroy Rihanna's profession. Now we as a whole love Beyonce on the grounds that she's the sovereign, yet there have been such countless charges about how she purportedly gets other female craftsmen boycotted in the business at whatever point she feels like they crossed her previous guardian, even uncovered how she and Jay-Z schemed to end Carrie Hilson's vocation over some trivial meet Beyonce. How you all finished Carrie Hilson's profession gracious in light of the fact that she expressed something about you, that is the manner by which scornful you folks are, the way you step on anyone to remain on the top. That wasn't the last time either, in light of the fact that she was additionally blamed for attempting to diminish Normani's vocation so her protege Chloe Bailey could sparkle more brilliant. So Beyonce is supposedly not new to the matter of repudiating other female specialists, and word on the roads is that she attempted to do exactly the same thing to Rihanna, as well as you all presumably recollect. Riri's Keep Going collection hostile to spilled on Tidal 2 days before it was authoritatively expected to be delivered. Fine collections release online all the time, yet this was especially soon since it spilled on Tidal, and you all need to think about who possesses Tidal. Yes, Jay-Z. There were reports that Beyonce affected the whole since she was because of delivery the principal single from her collection Lemonade half a month after Enemy of dropped, and she needed to dispose of the opposition ahead of time. Now I know that numerous celeb fights are made up by the fans who some way or another figured out how to persuade themselves that two celebs are beefing in any event, when there's no proof except for this isn't true here, in light of the fact that few insiders was uncovered exactly the way in which terrible things were among B and Rehash. A source asserted that they could scarcely stand each other, saying they would not remain close to one another or talk with one another. Controllers and facilitators took extraordinary measures to keep the divas cheerful. The entire show was painstakingly arranged, and these two had barely anything to do with one another. Goodness, and we should not fail to remember the time Beyonce fundamentally delivered a diss track towards Rihanna. Definitely I'm discussing her Melody Neal. Since Chow, that tune caused a ton of show. Beyonce attempted to make sense of why she put out the tune. I put out Neal is on the grounds that I awakened. I went into the studio. I had a serenade in my mind. It was forceful. It was furious. It wasn't the Beyonce that gets up each day. It was the Beyonce that was furious. It was the Beyonce that wanted to safeguard herself, and I will not do it consistently on the grounds that that is not who I am. Nevertheless, I feel solid, and anybody that says goodness that is rude. Simply envision the individual that despises you. Envision an individual that doesn't put stock in you, and search in the mirror. Express Neal _ and I promise you feel hoodlum. This was a hopeless train wreck, and Rihanna sort of tossed the shade right back at Beyonce when she sent this subconscious cue that said, I just expertise to be number one. I could utilize a test. How'd I feel down there kneeling down? How one thing about Rihanna, she is never going to take anyone's BS, yet it gets more fascinating in light of the fact that you all skill. Beyonce said that she composed the melody since she was irate and harmed. Well, that ended up being clearly false on the grounds that lyricist Rock City uncovered that they really composed the melody much stronger. The melody had initially been planned for Rihanna, yet she gave it so it went to Beyonce. Rather, with Beyonce. I never met Beyonce. The two melodies that we accomplished for Beyonce, the one melody I accomplished for Beyonce I did with Polo for Rihanna and it went to Beyonce, and afterward the other melody I did with Diplo for Rihanna and it went to Beyonce. So Beyonce most likely made several changes to the melody, yet it's sort of wild that she concealed Riri and Right, and as per a source Rihanna realizes that B was being obscure in the tune despite the fact that she doesn't have the foggiest idea about why Beyonce would be desirous. The source added that Rihanna has a ton of regard for Beyonce and really accepts that the two of them can be perfect without the unimportant envy and all the dramatization. Many individuals have truly timed the desire, and they said stuff like never been a Beyonce fan and never will be, a direct result of her manipulative ways. It doesn't make any difference how gifted or famous she is. Rihanna is similarly as capable, while possibly not all the more, yet she has kept a standing of honesty, so she radiates brilliantly like a jewel. As I would like to think Rihanna knows how to stroll in her path and focus on front and center. Yet then again Beyonce don't. What you all individuals are absent about Beyonce is that she's extremely scheming, subtle, and afterward play like she's guiltless. Yet Rihanna is what you see is what you get, and I believe she's actually squeezed. Who realized Fenty would cause her a tycoon? In the meantime, you do have 12 unique rollouts to Adidas, and I don't know anybody who has it. She shot past you in business. Yet do you all think that Rihanna